We're at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Riviera Beach. Today is January the 17th? Thank you, 2013. Okay. And my name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. I'm here interviewing this young lady, and her name is?
Angel Maldonado.
Okay, Angel. And Angel, what is your birthday?
October 28, 1976.
And your current address?
1959 Brandywine Circle, apartment 301, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33409.
Great. And it's just you and I attending the interview. And what wars or what branch of service did you serve in?
I served in the Navy.
Okay. And when?
I joined in 1995, and my second time in the Navy ended in 2003.
Okay. You separated, so you were in for...
So I was in active duty and reserves.
Oh, okay.
And I did the other.
Okay, back to back.
Back to back.
Gotcha. All right, and let's see. What rank were you when you separated?
When I got out active duty, E3.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. And you enlisted, obviously. You weren't drafted. And where were you living at the time?
I lived in North Carolina when I joined the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Where? In
a place called Swan Quarter. It's the eastern shore of North Carolina.
Okay. And why did you pick that branch of the service?
I had two cousins, one the same age and one a year and a day older than me. And they both joined the Navy.
Okay.
So I decided to follow them and join.
Follow suit, huh? Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you recall your first days in the service?
Oh, yes.
What was that like?
When I first got to my first duty station in Jacksonville, Florida, I remember having all my clothes packed in a suitcase.
Right.
Along with my iron.
Right.
So when I had to pull out, we wore dungarees at the time. So there were blue tops and the bell-bottom denim jeans. And I pulled out my top and it was crazy wrinkled. And I'm like, I have to report in my uniform. So I pulled out my dungarees and put them on. I went over there and they looked at me and it was like, oh, you have to go and change. So I pulled out my whites, which were CNTs at the time, which were called.
What is that?
Which is a cotton thread. It's like better than the milkman ones, what we call, but they're more of a collie cotton type of material.
Poly cotton? Okay.
So I put those on, which didn't look wrinkled, and then I was allowed to check in.
Oh, okay.
And it was crazy wrinkled. That's what I remember.
Okay. Your actual uniform.
My actual uniform.
Right, but they didn't care about that. They just wanted you in uniform.
Right.
What were you doing just prior to coming into service?
I was in high school.
All right, so you graduated. Where were you going to school?
I went to school called Madamasky High School in North Carolina.
What was it?
Madamasky High School.
Okay. All right, so you graduated and you went directly in to the military. Cool. All right. So tell me about basic training.
Basic training.
Where did you go?
I went to Great Lakes. It was cold. I got there in August.
Right.
And I left in December. So the funny thing about boot camp was we had to wait to start. So we had to wait about 3 weeks, almost a month to start because there wasn't enough females that got there. So we just kind of lounged around in the beginning and it seemed like it was great. We ate everything. We kind of hung out in the rooms and then it started. And it was totally different. We went about a month and then the government shut down. No one was getting paid, so none of our recruiters or RDCs at the time, that's what they were called, came in.
Right.
For about another 3 weeks to a month. So we were on another hold. At that time, it started getting cold. So a lot of the things like the swimming and the gas chamber, we had to skip because we had to be bussed around because it was a horrible blizzard in the Chicago area. So it was a very memorable boot camp because of all the things that happened.
Okay, so how long was it? How long were you there altogether?
Oh, from August to December.
What was the name of the camp? Or
It was boot camp.
What was it? No, but I mean the facility. Where were you on the Great Lakes? What was the name of the city that you were close
That's
to?
a good question.
Okay.
That is a good question.
It was so cold you didn't even know where you were. Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay. So how long were you there? Do you remember?
I just know I got there in August at the end, and I left in the beginning of December. And I know I couldn't fly out to go home for about 2 weeks to go to report to my next duty station, which was Jacksonville.
Right.
Because we were snowed. We had to wait.
You just stuck, huh? Okay, so it's December and boot camp is over. Where did you go to tech school? What was your MOS?
I didn't have a tech school. Not everyone has tech schools in the Navy. You can join where you don't have a job, and you get trained in the field that you wanted to get trained in.
Which was?
I joined as an airman, and I wanted to be on the aviation. I joined as a seaman. I wanted to be on the sea side of the Navy. They didn't put me on the ship. They put me on the aviation side. So I cross-trained when I got to Jacksonville to be an airman.
Okay.
I took a course and switched over to being an airman. When I became an airman, I decided it was okay. There was no aviation jobs that I wanted to do, so I'm going to go back to being a seaman, and I decided to be a cook. So I switched back to being a seaman, and I took the test to be a cook. I was designated as a cook, but I never worked in a kitchen or a galley because it was my first command. It was my first 3-year tour, not a 4-year tour like most people have now. I was on a 3-year tour.
Right.
It was a 3-5 tour, so I was 3 years active and 5 years reserve. So my 3-year tour, I didn't get to work in the kitchen or a galley because I was the only MS in the whole entire command.
MS?
MS, I was called a mess specialist then. Now it was called something else. Being that I was the only one out of my training command, they were designated to train people to go to ships to fight whatever war we were going to face.
Right.
There were no cooks in that whole command. So I ended up being urinalysis, taking people's drug tests and things like that.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I ended up doing.
So now you cross train again in the medical field.
It's something else, right? Never doing my job.
Right. Well, okay. All right. So, how many tech schools did you go to?
I didn't go to any.
Well, you went airman. What was that?
That's your, when you come in the Navy, you come in as an airman, seaman, fireman.
Okay.
And that's what you're automatically classified as one of those.
Did you get trained as a cook?
No.
No. So, finally, what kind of job did you do?
The urinalysis was my only job.
Right. Okay. So did you go to school for that?
No.
Or it was just OJT?
It was not OJT. The second class that was there, he retired. And there was no one else to do it, so they just kind of gave it to me.
So you didn't go to school, you were just simply assigned?
I was, yes.
That was it. Where were you?
This was in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
And the command was VFA 106, and it was on NAS Cecil Field, which now, NAS Cecil Field,
What is it?
it's, you know where NAS Shacks is? In Jacksonville, Florida.
No.
It's a naval station.
Okay.
There's Mayport, and Cecil Field is 3 of the naval bases. That's the third one, the one that's there. It's closed down. They closed down in maybe between 2005 and 2007, and everyone from VFA 106 shifted to Virginia, which is the home of the Navy. And that's where that fighter command is. It's one of the largest fighter commands preparing for war that we have still today. So that's where I was stationed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So how long were you there?
I was there from...
That's okay.
I got there in 95 and I left there in 99.
Okay, so you were there for 4 years.
I was there in Jacksonville for 3 in VFA 106. When I got out of VFA 106, I took off a couple of months before I went active into the reserves.
Okay.
And that couple of months I took off because my husband was stationed on NAS Jackson and VP Command, VP 30, which is the largest VP command.
Right.
I decided to leave. We decided to transfer from Jacksonville to Hawaii.
Oh.
So we went to Hawaii, and that's where I rejoined back into the reserves, active reserves for the Navy.
Okay, so let me go back here for a minute. How was the food?
And
Everywhere.
the food in Hawaii was great.
No, I mean in Jackson. How was it in the Great Lakes?
The food in boot camp.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I was underweight when I joined the Navy. At the time, you had to weigh 100 pounds. I didn't weigh 100 pounds, so I had to eat 6 times a day. They would march me to the galley, and someone would stand over me, and they would watch me eat 6 meals a day to get my weight up.
Right.
But we were exercising morning, day, and night, and then when it snowed, I would still have to get taken over there. I remember getting in the car and being driven over there and having them watch me eat. The food was...
Pick it up.
So the food was, it was okay. I mean, I don't eat red meat. I've never eaten red meat.
Okay.
So to have them understand that I don't eat red meat was a lot of cereal and bread days in boot camp.
Okay.
So the food in Jacksonville was good. I never ate in a galley, never stepped foot in the galley the whole time I was there, even though I was a cook. I ate at the Gidunk that's downstairs.
Huh?
I ate at something called the Gidunk, which is like a 7-Eleven type thing. Or
Downstairs where? In
our barracks.
Gotcha.
Our barracks or our hangar had 2 floors.
Right.
And the Gidunk was on the bottom floor. And the second floor was offices where I worked.
Okay.
So I ate there, or we ate out in town, or something like that.
Okay.
Hawaii food was great.
Now, but let's go to Jacksonville. We can't pass by there. How was the food in Jacksonville?
That was Jacksonville where the Gidunk was, in the hangar.
Okay.
So it was okay. I mean, there wasn't, I didn't eat at the galley where most people eat. I didn't eat there. So we went to McDonald's or Taco Bell. I never ate military food my first command. I always ate out like regular people.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, how did you, well, let's go on. So how long were you stationed in Hawaii?
I got to Hawaii in 99 and we left in 2003.
Right.
So that's my whole time in Hawaii.
And what did you do there?
I was on a ship and I actually worked in the galley of a ship. Yes, it was amazing. It's probably like, I wouldn't say it was one of my best jobs ever, but I learned so much about that time in Hawaii. The getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make breakfast for the people who start work at 6.
Yeah.
And leaving at 3 so we can cover the people who get off at midnight. I mean, we did breakfast, lunch, we did dinner and mid-rat. So those 4 meals that we prepared. So it was long days. It was 12 on and 12 off. But it was great. 12 hours on.
And then 12 hours off. Gotcha.
So it was great.
Okay, all right. And how many consecutive days did you work before you got a day off?
3-5. So it was 5 days on.
3 days off.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. And where were you in Hawaii?
I was on the USS Frederick. That's the ship that I was on. I was living a mile, maybe half a mile outside of Pearl Harbor Gate in base housing.
Okay.
So I could just walk right into the gate, either gate, the main gate or the back gate. There were 2 gates.
And that's where you lived?
That's where I lived. I lived in base housing.
Okay, with your husband?
With my husband.
Okay, all right. And so you were there from what year to what year?
From 99 to 2003.
Okay, so you were there for 4 years, approximately, give or take. Okay, all right. So far up to this point, just what were the officers like, and what were your peers like?
My peers were great. There's people that I've met from Jacksonville and Hawaii who are retiring now. I have a retirement to go to tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And they were great. They're still my friends today. I met my best friend in boot camp. She's still my best friend today.
Okay.
The officers, a lot of them I'm still friends with. One is my neighbor.
Okay.
Here from Hawaii. So it's kind of odd that it's a small Navy. When people say it's a small Navy, it's a real small Navy.
Yeah.
So, and my counterpart here working at the VA is from the Navy.
Oh.
So there's a lot of terminology that we use and still get along well with now.
Good. So it didn't really take you outside the realm of what you already know.
Joining the Navy changed me. From being a civilian to being in the Navy, everything about me now in my life is Navy or military.
Okay.
So when I hear people say things like when they have medical insurance and they have copay and all this stuff, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that is. Explain this to me. It's all new to me.
Right.
And they're like, don't you have insurance? And I'm like, I go to the VA hospital. I'm a veteran.
Right.
I don't even know what a copay is. So I'm very military. So it's shaped my whole life and who I am today.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. All right. So where else besides, did you travel other places?
Oh, yes.
Where'd you go?
I went to El Centro, California. It's where the home of the Summertime Blue Angels training camp. I was there for a while with them on a deployment.
Oh, okay.
I went to Key West, Naval Station Key West.
All right.
I went there. Where else did I go? I went to San Diego.
Was that on R&R or?
No, this is all training through the military.
Okay, go ahead.
I went on something called the Tiger Cruise to Maui. DC. I went to DC. So I went to the Pentagon. Where else did I go? New York.
All right.
Oh my goodness, there were so many places we went to. I went on a lot of ships just out to sea too. So.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with the family at home? Well, communication.
I guess I'm a distant person. I've never been really close to my family at home. Even today, I'm still not that close to them. So I
and they're in the Carolinas? Where are they?
They're in Carolinas, in New York. So occasional phone call, maybe every couple of months. I go there maybe every 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So it was never frequent visits or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Did you ever see any combat?
No.
Okay. And you ever have the experience of seeing a lot of casualties?
No. The closest thing I came to combat was when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
I was living right outside of Pearl Harbor's back gate. That's the closest gate to her. The front gate was not that far either, but the back gate. When the alarms went off on the island, it was the same alarms for a hurricane or a tsunami.
Right.
Wow. The island shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember my husband putting on his uniform. He worked on the same island, but you had to go through the tunnel, through a mountain, to get to the other side where his base was.
Okay.
So as our phones are ringing, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning when this happened, because it's on Hawaiian time, everyone had to report in. And he's going to his base, and he's like, you can't stay in base housing, you have to go on base. Just take your military ID card, and they'll put you on base. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to report to my ship.
Uh-huh.
So he's getting his uniform, he's on his motorcycle going to his, and I'm going in the gates of Pearl Harbor. Everyone that was a civilian or a contractor or non-military personnel was walking out of the gate. Pearl Harbor is huge. They were walking out of the gate. They were not allowed to take their cars. Some of them, they had to just get off the base, no civilians at all. And I remember getting in my car and getting to the back gate saying, I have a car, and the guy was like, you have 2 ID cards. One is a one is a dependent and one is a military member. And I was like, I'm both. They're 2 different colors. He was like, just go to your ship and report in. So I remember just passing groves and groves of people, and my ship was in dry dock at the time.
Uh-huh.
So we weren't going out or anything. We were in dry dock. Mm-hmm. And just the amount of people that were and children were not allowed there. Like, where are their parents? They just had to leave the base, and the gates were closing. So it was...
These were all civilians walking?
Civilians. Mm-hmm.
So where did they go? Especially the kids.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Because we were in dry dock, which is far in the back of the base.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So did you find out where they went afterwards?
I stayed on my ship probably for a week.
Uh-huh.
My husband came daily to see how it was going, and that's how it was.
That was it, huh? Okay. Anyway, so all right, now then, so you weren't a prisoner of war or anything like that. Did you get medals, awards, citations?
I do have medals, and you know what? I haven't looked at my service record, my DD-214, or my flag of my medals in so long. They're packed in storage.
Okay.
It's funny, when I came here and I was like, I have to list my medals on my application for the VA, and I was like, oh, they're all in storage. I don't even remember what medals I have.
Right, but they probably have them listed in the system.
Oh yeah, they do.
Okay. Were you ever injured? Did you ever sustain any service-related injury?
In fact, I just did it on CNP, a compensation claim for injuries.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know I could file my compensation claims until I started working here.
Ah.
So it's been some years since 2003, and now it's 2013, and I just filed in 2011. I fell on the ship. I fell down the stairs. You have the bulkheads. You have to hit my head countless times. I was in 3 car accidents on base in government vehicles. One time my head went through the windshield, and they flew me to the next base to get treated. So I've had a couple of injuries.
Okay.
In the military.
You all right now?
I mean, I feel okay today. I'm in still pain. Like, my back hurts every day.
Okay, really?
There's memory loss, like things that happened for my first command. I'm on Facebook talking to some friends, and they're like, do you remember we did this, or we were deployed here? And I'm like, I don't even remember any of that.
Really?
Depression is a big one, because most of my friends are retiring, and I feel like I'm starting over again. Even though I'm graduating with degrees and they're retiring, we're almost the same level, but I didn't retire with them. So that loss or that grief or depression still sets in. So I'm staying here for that.
What kept you from graduating with them?
For retiring with them?
Yeah.
They're retiring. I wanted to have kids.
Oh.
I want to have kids. And the one thing I hear from boot camp is children doesn't come with a sea bag. So, and I have my daughter. It took 11 years, but I have my daughter. So I'm happy for that end.
Okay.
But that disconnect is still there.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Did you have all the supplies that you needed as you travel from place to place as you were stationed in the places that you were stationed, as you deployed to wherever you deployed to? Did you have all the supplies that you needed?
No.
No?
No, I didn't. When I was at my first command, I had a supply card. It was one of the first ones that was rolling out called the Visa Impact Card. I got some award for being one of the first people to try it out. So there's an award. And I remember ordering supplies for my command thinking, okay, this is not enough for our 3,000 and some people. We have the largest command on the base.
Right.
Some people aren't going to get things they need. Some
Right.
people were deploying no boots.
What?
Yes, they were going to the Eisenhower. They were going to all these ships and they didn't have everything they needed. And I remember when I was going to Hawaii and I was checking in and I had to get uniform stuff, they're like, we don't carry this size. Even when I got to Jacksonville and I needed certain things for the flight line,
Yeah.
they didn't have my size. So just waiting on supplies
Wow.
was a big thing.
Okay, so that was a major issue.
That was an issue.
Okay. So I think I know the answer to this question already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you feel pressure and stress?
Oh, yes. The stress to do your PRT on time.
What?
Stress to do your PRT on time.
What is that?
That's when you run a mile and a half, you do your 67 push-ups in the amount of
How
time.
many?
67. Yes. Sit-ups, push-ups. I mean, the pressure to not mess my urinalysis up, not to tell them that you're going to be pulling you look at the last four, they're social, not to tell them that you're going to be doing a urinalysis the next day, to make sure they're doing it right, they're not cheating when you get measured, if you're overweight. I mean, the pressure is great. Pressure is great.
Okay. So there was pressure.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
What did you do for entertainment? Were there entertainers come to the bases or?
The whole time in my first command, I don't think we had any entertainment.
Okay.
This is so sad. One of the things I remember that we look forward to, and people go to captain's masses when you get in trouble. In my first command, we had what's called the open captain's mass. It was an auditorium, something like this one,
Right.
full of chairs. And when someone would get in trouble, that person would be presented in front of everyone, and their situation would be played out. What they did, their charges, and it was open, but it was bad at the same time.
Right.
For fun on the regular world, I went to the mall, I went shopping, I did all the regular things, but there were no entertainers brought to our base. In Hawaii, there was. In Hawaii, I got to see Janet Jackson perform. I went to not the Super Bowl, but whatever one they do in Hawaii.
Okay, it was football.
Yes, it was football. So that was fun. I know, I don't do football. Okay.
Okay. They'd probably take me out back and, anyway. But if it wasn't boxing, I wouldn't know. At any rate, what did you do when you went on leave?
When I went on leave, my first command in Jacksonville, I don't think I went home on leave ever. Never. I never remember going home ever.
Okay.
But when I got married, I went to meet my in-laws. So when I went on leave to get married, we the first time we went to Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And we toured Charleston because that's where he was from. So that was fun.
Right.
The second time I went on leave with my husband was we went to Key West, and we stayed in Key West for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that was fun.
Okay.
So
Right.
in
Any
Hawaii, we went to all the islands. We went to California. We drove cross country, flew from California, drove to DC.
Oh, okay.
We went to Vegas. We did a lot of things.
All right. Okay. What else?
We went to a boxing match.
Where?
We saw Roy Jones fight in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
We did a lot of great things.
Okay.
A lot of great things. What else did we do? We went on this deep sea fishing tour.
Where?
Off the coast of Maui.
Oh.
Oh, it was amazing. We caught some fish that we've never seen. We went to Hanama Bay. We went snorkeling.
Where?
Hanama Bay.
Uh-huh.
Is where the crater hit in Hawaii. We went there, and it's like fish that are only there in the world.
Right.
So we went there. We took a flight to Guam.
The what?
To Guam.
Uh-huh.
So we went there. Where else did we go? We went to DC for a week, and we looked at all the museums, and we went to the Capitol.
Walked the mall.
We walked the mall.
Yeah.
We took a lot of pictures. We stayed at this private beach for Air Force in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I think it's called Bellows.
Uh-huh.
And we stayed there probably for a long weekend. And it's isolated. There's no TVs. It's restricted to certain people.
Right.
It was great. We toured this mountain in Hawaii where the satellites are for space.
Yeah.
And the mountain goes up, and you go through Schofield Barracks, and you come down the other side, and you can see almost the entire island.
Mm-hmm.
It was so beautiful, and it's restricted to certain people, so it was nice for us to go there
Right.
and see those things.
Gotcha.
So that was really good.
Gotcha. Okay. You had fun.
I did.
Okay. So, what did you think of officers and your fellow soldiers?
I thought they were great. My fellow soldiers are still my friends today, and so are some of my officers.
Right.
I still think they're great.
Uh-huh.
I think they do the job. I think they're undercredited for the job that we do.
Really? Okay. Did you keep a diary?
I do have a diary. I do. I have it in a box for my daughter, along with the uniform, my tree for my uniform,
Right.
my ID cards. I copied my DD-214, DNA sample. I have a couple of things in this box for my daughter.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Do you recall the days when your service ended?
Yes, I do.
Where were you?
My first service ended, I was in Jacksonville, Florida. It was sad. I remember the people that I trained were transferring, the base was closing, my command was transferring to, getting ready, was in the process of transferring to Virginia. Me and my husband was getting ready to get stuff wrapped up to move to Hawaii. I remember going to base medical, and I had to check out, and I had to go through this medical exam, and I had a couple of medical issues. I didn't want to go through the exam, but I went through the exam, and there was a run-in with like the medical officer. I didn't feel comfortable. And I remember, what do I do with my uniforms? Do I keep them? Do I donate them? And listed on my DD-214 were my accidents that I got into, and the people that I served for. My evaluations were good when I got out, but just that feeling of I'm leaving my security. Like, I get paid every 1st and 15th. My car payment is done. We had 4 car payments, 4 cars between the 2 of us. What happens next? I'm going to be months before I get to Hawaii and do anything else. Do I go to school? At the time, I wasn't in school, and my husband was telling me, go use your GI Bill and pay for your classes. At the time, it covered 1 class, 1 semester. So it was nothing, not like what they have now. So I'm like, what do I do? So I got a job. It was just a very scary time.
Right.
To leave that security of, I have insurance, I'm getting paid, and I don't know what's next.
Right.
My insurance would stay the same because I would still have the same TRICARE for him, but that financial security was going to be gone.
Right. Okay. Scary. So you say the first time.
The first time.
So clear up the confusion. So you went back into service.
Went to the reserves.
Why did you come out the first time?
They wanted to go to station me and my husband together. I was going to go onto the Kennedy in Jacksonville, Florida, and he was going to VP 47 in Hawaii.
Okay.
They're not even close to being together.
Okay.
So he outranked me. I got out.
He what?
He outranked
Gotcha,
me.
okay.
So I chose to get out.
Right.
Then we went to Hawaii.
Okay. So then, what did you do in between the time you got out and you went back in? What you just told me, you traveled?
I traveled.
I don't like you.
I went to New York, I went to New Jersey, I went to Connecticut, I went to Virginia, I went to North Carolina, I went to Tennessee, I went to Mississippi. I traveled.
Just went, huh?
And then I enrolled in school.
You what?
I enrolled in school in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. So how long was that period before you went back into service?
About a couple of months.
Oh.
98 to 99. I got out in August. We left almost a year.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Almost a year.
All right.
A little short of a year.
Okay, so when you went back into service, what did you do?
That's when I went to Hawaii, and I was on the ship USS Frederick, and I was actually working as a cook.
Okay. So how long did that last this time?
Staying in Hawaii.
How long was this tour now, this tour
I
duty?
was scheduled there for 5 years.
Oh.
But we fell a little short, so when I went back, it was a couple of months short. I ended it before it was time for us to go back to the mainland. First time. His tour ended for 4 years, mine was for 5. I ended it short, a little after 4 years, to go back with him so we could stay together.
Okay.
And he got stationed in D.C., and we went to D.C.
Okay. So now, but you're a civilian.
I'm a civilian, so I ended it again before leaving Hawaii, which was I felt much better because I had went to Hawaii Pacific University. I went to Chaminade. I went to Honolulu Community College.
Right.
I was about to graduate my criminal justice degree. I had a SOCNAV agreement. Like whatever classes I was missing, they were going to give me a degree no matter what school I transferred them back into. Okay. So I was more prepared.
Right. Okay. So you felt better this time around.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So what did you do after the service? Now you're done with the service.
After the service, I started working at an environmental laboratory first in D.C. And I kept going to Hawaii.
What do you have a degree in?
Criminal justice. Criminal justice. Now I go to FAU. I'm about to graduate this semester with a social work degree.
Oh, okay.
And then I've been accepted into Berry.
Okay.
For a master's degree.
In what?
Social work.
Gotcha. All right. Go back. What
so I was in D.C. and I started working at environmental laboratory. Then we were there about a year, and then he got transferred. He was there for a year. He got transferred, and we divorced. And I went to New York to live.
Okay.
And I remarried.
Okay.
Another military member who is a recruiter in New York.
Wow. Okay.
So.
All right. So, what were you doing?
In New York, I worked for Home Depot because it was a military-friendly employer.
Right.
So they took me in as a manager. They started me off as manager of the electrical department. I knew nothing about electrical, so I crammed for like the week before my interview. And I went in and they gave me the electrical department. I cleaned it up in like a month, and I got all these awards and moved up into another management position. Then they gave me like the paint department. And then another month later, I got advanced again, and it was time for me to go through the assistant store manager training.
Right.
And I decided, after a hurricane, after a blizzard, I did not want to live in New York anymore. It's just entirely too cold. I went online and I bought a house.
Okay, where?
In Palm Bay, Florida. Never been to Palm Bay, Florida.
Right.
Never owned a house, but I brought a sight unseen online. So we moved.
Okay.
That's when we got out the military, and we moved to Palm Bay. And I started working as a contractor for Cape Canaveral and Patrick's Air Force Base, where I monitored all threats coming in from Ascension Island and all these other places coming back. So I did that for for Ascension Island, the island off the coast of Florida.
Gotcha.
So I did that for a couple of years, and I got tired of being in the retirement community and driving all the way out to Cape Canaveral. So I applied for a job in West Palm at Palm Beach State College, and I got the job, and we moved here. And then my husband started working at the VA. I transferred to the VA, and this is where I am today.
What's his job?
He works in crisis. He's a medical support assistant.
Gotcha.
And I work in social work. I'm a program support.
Okay, cool. All right, well, you brought me right up to you did use your GI Bill.
I used my GI Bill when I was on active duty. I finished it up in the reserves where it ended. It wasn't the GI Bill it's not the post 9/11 GI Bill of today.
Right.
Mine was the pre-1950s GI Bill, much different.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
American Legion. My dad was an American Legion member. I joined.
Okay.
They also helped me with my compensation for my claim for getting hurt in the military.
Right.
They helped me file that.
Right.
So that's the only veterans association I'm joined.
Okay. All right, well, tell me how you feel the military, your military experience influenced your thinking about war or the military in general, and did your service and experiences affect your life? How?
I would say that my service is my life. Like being in the military made me the person and shaped me to be the person I am today. At my house we run taps. When it's taps, my daughter is 4, she knows taps. She knows Reveille. We work out. She does, instead of punishment, she knows she got to do push-ups and sit-ups. So we run everything like a ship in my house. I guess.
She's 4?
She's 4.
Okay. I thought you said she was 11.
She's 4.
Okay.
It took me 11 years to make my daughter.
Oh.
But she's 4.
Okay.
So the military really shaped my life. It pushed me to get the job that I have, to want to work in social work with veterans, not just any part of social work, just with veterans.
Right. Okay. So overall, it's been a very positive
Oh, yes.
experience for you.
Made me the person I am today.
Okay. Do you feel like there's anything that we left out of this interview?
Oh, I think we covered a lot.
We did. We most certainly
We
did.
did.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for the interview, and I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.